My friends, I would never call out the Pope. I would never insult the Pope. However, other people aren't as nice as I am. Welcome back. I'm Howard Riell. Riell Truth. It's Monday. The call-in number 877-254-7524. Item from the Associated Press. Pope Francis on Monday, that's today, urged countries to greatly improve their welcome to migrants and stop collective expulsion, saying migrants' dignity and right to protection trumps national security concerns. Francis's politically pointed message comes amid mounting anti-immigration sentiment in Europe and beyond, following waves of migrant arrivals and Islamic extremist attacks. In his message, Francis demanded governments welcome, protect, promote, and integrate migrants. He demanded a simplified process of granting humanitarian and temporary visas and rejected arbitrary and collective expulsions as, quote, unsuitable. He said the principle of ensuring each person's dignity, quote, obliges us to always prioritize personal safety over national security, unquote. My friends, this is why Pope Francis has ordered that huge wall that surrounds the Vatican be taken down to give migrants greater access to the Vatican, to give, what's that? He did not order that the wall being taken down? Well, didn't the Pope say last year that we should build bridges, not walls? So obviously he's taking the wall around the Vatican down to give migrants greater access. What's that? Oh, he's leaving the wall where it is. All right, but he's getting rid of the security guards, right? There are not going to be any security guards at the... What's that? Oh, he's got security guards. So the Pope has a huge wall around the Vatican, and he's got security guards, but he's urging countries to bring down their walls, bring down their security guards, their security procedures, and just admit an unrestricted flow of migrants into their countries? Well, here's what I mean, my friends. I would never insult the Pope. There are people who would call him a jackass for doing that. There are people who would call him naive and stupid and say that he's placing the Western world in horrifying jeopardy. I would not say those things. I would never insult the Pope's intelligence. However, there are people who are doing so. And they're calling him a hypocrite for hiding behind walls with security guards and wanting to leave Europe and the United States defenseless. I would never call him a hypocrite and a fool. I want to be real clear on that. I would never even suggest it. However, there are people calling the Pope a hypocrite and a fool. Some people just don't have any respect. It's Monday. It's Riell Truth. And we'll be right back.
Your local DuPont Pioneer team doesn't take with you from the word go lightly, especially when it comes to forages. We're going to go there and work with those customers to try and find out what they need, what their true needs are, and meet and exceed those needs. Meet Ron Grusho, Pioneer Sales Professional. He brings the Silage Zone resource to local dairy producers every day. Whether it's a night, Saturday, weekend, be the go-to guy and take time to invest in their success is your success. He brings more than just industry-leading products to the table. When you have the opportunity to come down that driveway and sit down there and visit, you're looking for that long-term relationship. Want a team that's with you from the word go? That's Ron Grusho and your local DuPont Pioneer team. Ask them about leveraging the Silage Zone resource to produce the highest quality forages for your operation. It's people working with people. Pioneer, with you from the word go.
The American Freedom Network is not funded or supported by special interest groups or government programs. The American Freedom Network is not sponsored by advertisers demanding content or programming control. The American Freedom Network is solely funded by you, the listener. Please help keep the American Freedom Network on the air by purchasing one of our sponsors' fine products or by calling 1-800-205-6245 to make a donation. The American Freedom Network needs your help.
My friends, here's what I say. I say America is under attack from within. It's a very real attack, and it's a very deadly enemy. It's the left, it's liberals, it's the Democrats, it's the swamp. But if I say it, nobody cares. Yes, this Thursday is our 9th anniversary, but still, in the great scheme of things in the broadcasting world, I'm nothing. However, when Rush Limbaugh says it, that's when people perk up. Here he is. America is under attack. And in fact, my friends, it's precisely and exactly the opposite. People have been saying for a long time America's dead. It's bought and paid for. It's owned by the special interests. It's owned by the globalists, by the elitists. And Trump comes around and says, no, we're taking the government, we're taking the levers of power and giving them back where they belong, to the American people. So if anything, Trump's presidency is a clear and present sign that America still works. We still can have a government for the people, by the people, and of the people. We've got it. He's giving it back to us, and we've got fools who don't want it. Give it back to the political hacks, they say. Give it back to the Obamas and the Clintons. Give it back to all the people who make fools of Americans, who control us, who soak us, who don't care about us. Give it back to them. Those are the people I've talked about so often in the past, my friends. Those are the guys on the other side of the rowboat drilling a hole in the bottom. And how dare you tell them to stop? So Russia's right. This is a pivotal moment in this nation's history. We've been given a guy like Trump on a golden platter. And if we blow it this time, we blow it for good. Let's take a break. Riell Truth will continue. That I promise. Go nowhere.
And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. John bore witness of him and cried out, saying, This was he of whom I said, He who comes after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 14 and 15. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the governed. This is the America News Network.
For I testify to everyone who hears the words of the prophecy of this book. If anyone adds to these things, God will add to him the plagues that are written in this book. And if anyone takes away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part of the book of life and from the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. Revelation 22, 18 and 19.
American Window Tinting Incorporated in Franktown reminds parents, keep an eye on your child while shopping. Children tend to stray or become lost. This poses an opportunity for a would-be abductor. Please make every effort to keep track of your little ones at all times. If you have information regarding a lost child, call local authorities at once. This message is from American Window Tinting Incorporated in Franktown. For residential or commercial window tinting, call 303-263-4228.
The subject everyone is still talking about, my friends. I mean, yeah, it's this show and our 9th anniversary. Yes, everyone's talking about that across America. Also talking about Steve Bannon's firing. It just happened a couple of days ago. I, frankly, have been expecting a call from the White House asking me to step into Bannon's shoes. Thus far, it hasn't happened. But it's not 5 o'clock on the East Coast yet, and they're dealing with the eclipse. It's, okay, I understand. They're busy. But I'll let you know when they call. In the meantime, here's Ann Coulter weighing in on the Joe Pags Show. Here we go. I appreciate it, Ann. Thanks very much. Although you had no part in being on my show, I appreciate you being here. Anyway, item from ABC13.com, Dateline, Austin, Texas. University of Texas President Greg Fenvey ordered the immediate removal of statues of Robert E. Lee and other prominent Confederate figures from a main area of campus, saying that such monuments have become, quote, symbols of modern white supremacy and neo-Nazism. That's a pretty stupid thing to say, especially from the president of a university, who should know better. We'll be back.
The American Freedom Network is not funded or supported by special interest groups or government programs. The American Freedom Network is not sponsored by advertisers demanding content or programming control. The American Freedom Network is solely funded by you, the listeners. Please help keep the American Freedom Network on the air by purchasing one of our sponsors' fine products or by calling 1-800-205-6245 to make a donation. The American Freedom Network needs your help. Now, this is the testimony of John when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, "Who are you?" He confessed and did not deny, but confessed, "I am not the Messiah." And they asked him, "What then? Are you Elijah?" He said, "I am not." "Are you the prophet?" And he answered, "No." The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 19 through 21.
The associates at your 24-hour Walmart supercenter of the other month. No one anywhere is more noble, righteous, selfless, or courageous than our United States Armed Forces. These brave men and women and their families must fulfill for our freedom every day. Send a military care package today to let them know that they are in our hearts and our prayers and our thoughts. This message is from the associates at your 24-hour Walmart supercenter on Highway 287 in Lafayette. They're on the air because they care. The Elizabeth Locker Plan and Elizabeth reminds our listeners that the drug problem is well documented. We know our kids will be approached at early age. We want to applaud the youngsters in our community who have had the strength to say no to drugs. They provide examples to their peers and families to be the best they can be. That's from Elizabeth Locker Plant, located at 366 Grand Street in Elizabeth, serving our area since 1943 and specializing in naturalized aged beef and pork and complete custom processing. Call 303-688-2240. That's 303-688-2240.
If you're taking 1, 2, 5, or more nutritional supplements, please stop. Simplify your supplement ticket with Bio Superfood, the most advanced nutritional whole food supplement you can buy. Women, children, even Olympic athletes the world over have discovered Bio Superfood from BioAge.com. And now take just one nutritional supplement instead of many. The Bio Superfood formulas are whole food products composed with 4 of the most nutrient-dense algae found on Earth. Bio Superfood for the brain, with focus, memory, brevity, and food. If you can increase brain health, the rest of the body is a no-brainer. Bio Superfood has 0 toxicity and is safe for you and your family. Learn more and order your Bio Superfood formulas at BioAge.com. Spelled BioAge.com. BioAge.com or 911-77-288-9116. BioAge. The Active Advanced Program.
My friends, we're back. Howard Riell, Riell Truth. The intelligence keeps rolling on. I brought you Rush Limbaugh, brought you Ann Coulter, brought you Howard Riell. Now I'm going to bring you Newt Gingrich, also reacting to Bannon's removal from the White House and what exactly that means for the Trump administration. Newt, go. That's Sean Hannity, by the way. My friends, I understand why the swamp wants to destroy Donald Trump. It makes all the sense in the world. He wants to take away their influence, their power, their money, wants to take away the gravy train they've been riding for decades. I understand that. What I don't understand is average Americans who have been bilked, scammed, stolen from, treated like stooges by the elites, by the swamp, and are on the side of the swamp and the elites. I don't understand slaves wanting to remain slaves. And to a large degree, Americans have been slaves in a number of ways. Along comes someone with a key to your chains, and you say, no, thank you. And I'm speaking specifically to the majority of voters in the great state of Colorado who voted for Hillary Clinton. You voted for the swamp. You maniacs. You voted for the let them eat cake elitists. Nobody, I'll say it again in case you didn't hear me, nobody cares less about you than a piece of trash named Hillary Clinton. And yet Hillary carried Colorado. Not among my listeners, who are a smart, sharp, savvy group of people, but across the state of Colorado, Hillary won. Unbelievable. People who want to remain slaves. Let's go back to Newt. There is a profound problem underway. Newt Gingrich is exactly right. Trump has no team behind him. The team, Mitch McConnell, Paul Ryan, Mitt Romney, they are the swamp. Do you get that? They are the swamp. They're not helping Trump. They're working against Trump and against you and me. We have to do everything we can to help Trump help us. I don't ever want another election in which the majority of Coloradans vote for the Democrat. If that's the case, then Colorado, feel free to secede, be your own country, move off the continent. I understand a slave who wants to be free. I don't understand a slave who wants to remain a slave. Let's take a break. Riell Truth marches on, my friends, approaching our 9th anniversary this Thursday. Stick around.
And of his fullness we have all received, and grace for grace. For the law was given through Moses, but grace and truth came through Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. No one has seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, who is in the bosom of the Father, He hath declared him. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 16.
Piccolo's restaurant in Denver reminds us that over 750,000 children were reported missing last year. Over 58,000 of these were abducted by non-family members. Keep an eye out for youngsters at play, and if you see anything suspicious, contact the authorities immediately. This message from Piccolo's restaurant in Denver is not only the best Italian American for being, It's the people who care. Give him a call at 303-757-5166. 303-757-5166. This is the uniform piece of firefighters. We thank them for doing a great job keeping our area this job and raise a family. We realize that God is dangerous. Sometimes this message from simply uniform people reading. Call 352-2233. They're on the air because they care. And the uniform people in Greeley.
Article 4. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall be issued but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the places to be searched and the persons or things to be seen.
All right, guys, let's just close out this whole discussion of Steve Bannon getting fired. I'm going to toss it over to another incredibly smart guy, Tucker Carlson from Fox News. Let him weigh in on Bannon's firing, and then I promise we'll move on. Here we go. Tucker, excuse me. Hang on a second. Trump has moved heaven and earth to make these things law. He went above and beyond to get Congress to move on repeal and replace, and they just won't. Thank John McCain, American traitor. He's trying to push it over the finish line with tax cuts and reform. Congress is dragging its heels. He wants the wall built. Congress won't. There's only so much even a president can do. He's got to have Congress working with him. The fact that the Republicans control all three houses and yet they won't go along with their president borders on treason. It is an absolute scandal. And look, the last thing I want is for Democrats to get elected, but it is in the offing. If these fat cat bastards in Congress don't get off their duffs and do for the American people, they're going to be replaced. And if you think Trump is having tough sledding now, just imagine. Just imagine. So America is blowing it. Our elected officials are living down to all the low expectations we have of them. The swamp is fighting back. I don't know what else Tucker Carlson wants Trump to do. There's not much more he can do. He's doing everything possible. He's already done it. In just six and a half months, he's done a tremendous amount of good for this country. And more good things will follow, but he cannot pass the ball and then run downfield and catch it also. It is an American tragedy unfolding daily before our eyes, my friends. How we could have solved our problems, and the people to whom we've entrusted power refuse to solve our problems. It's an American tragedy. It's a world tragedy because the world depends on America. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. The swamp is fighting back, and so far, the swamp is winning. Let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll finish up here on Riell Truth.
Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets have gone into the world. By this you will know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Yeshua, Jesus, has come in the flesh is of God, and every spirit that does not confess that Yeshua, Jesus, has come in the flesh is not of God. And this is the spirit of Antichrist, which you have already heard was coming and is now already in the world. 1 John 4:1.
No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque or reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debt, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. Article 1, Section 10. If catastrophe struck, would your family be prepared? Are you confident you wouldn't react in a panic? Is there one place to get all of your emergency supplies? Ferris Survival encourages you to have confidence through preparation, not panic through crisis. Ferris Survival, located at 3366 South Broadway, is a professional, reputable, full-service business providing quality, realistic preparedness supplies at an affordable price. Go online, stop by, or call 303-781-0343. Ferris Survival. The American Freedom Network is not funded or supported by special interest groups or government programs. The American Freedom Network is not sponsored by advertisers demanding content or programming control. The American Freedom Network is solely funded by you, the listener. Please help keep the American Freedom Network on the air by purchasing one of our sponsors' fine products or by calling 1-800-205-6245 to make a donation. The American Freedom Network needs you for help.
All right, guys, we are back. You remember Six Flags amusement parks, right? Well, apparently now there are only 5 flags. Item from Breitbart. Six Flags Over Texas, an amusement park that made its icon the 6 national flags of countries that govern the now state of Texas, took down its namesake flags and replaced them with only the U.S. 50-star flag. The Six Flags had included a Confederate flag. Item. Large numbers of French police officers and soldiers have been deployed to the port of Marseille in the south of France after a stolen truck crashed into 2 separate bus stops within the course of an hour, killing 1. The mental health of the driver is being investigated. Unquote. That's a pretty stupid thing to do. Why not check the religion of the driver? Item. The number of workers in Britain born outside the European Union has surged to a record high of 3.3 million, according to the latest estimates. Unquote. My friends, Europe, as we've known it throughout our entire lives, is going away. Item from Breitbart. Celebrated evangelical preacher Franklin Graham has urged politicians and other world leaders to stop insisting that Islam is a religion of peace when the exact opposite is true. In the wake of this week's deadly attacks by jihadists in Barcelona, Reverend Graham, the son of Billy Graham, tweeted that politicians should stop saying, quote, Islam is a religion of peace, unquote. My friends, he's absolutely correct. There is nothing peaceful about Islam, and I don't even think it's a religion. It's a cult. Item. Multiple asylum seekers crossing the border from the United States into the French-speaking Canadian province of Quebec have been caught in possession of child pornography, unquote. Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's invite more of these people into our homes. Item. A judge sentenced a Mississippi man who entered the U.S. illegally to 40 years in prison for getting his daughter pregnant. Oh, yeah. Let's have more of these people coming into America. Item from InfoWars. A group of high school girls visiting the District of Columbia were kicked off the campus of Howard University for wearing a Trump hat, which the school said was making students feel unsafe, unquote. My friends, every member of the administration of Howard University should be sacked today. Item from the Daily Caller. In their efforts to drive political opponents from the public square, self-described anti-fascists, or Antifa, are utilizing a disgusting and degrading weapon, human urine. In just the latest instance of weaponized urine, counter-protesters demonstrating against the free speech rally in Boston on Saturday flung urine-filled bottles at police officers trying to maintain order amidst an already tense political climate, unquote. My friends, there's no excuse for throwing urine. However, it does represent a new high watermark in liberals making an intellectual case for their beliefs. No, you won't get reason or logic from liberals. You'll get urine thrown at police officers. Because in liberal circles, that's what passes for intellectualism. I've never heard of a conservative doing something that disgusting. Only liberals do. Liberals are always the ones who go into the gutter because they think they're sent by God. And whatever they do is so important and so right and so beautiful and so compassionate that they're perfectly justified in killing you or splattering you with urine in order to accomplish it. That's how liberals think. All right, guys, we're done. I'll be back in 23 hours with more Real Truth. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, stay angry. Hasta luego.